Thank you for tuning in to episode number 33 of Sports Talk with JWock. I am your host, JWock, and today we're going to be talking about how the NFL playoff race has been heating up as of late, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts and predictions on who will make the playoffs come this 2024-2025 NFL season, so make sure to stay tuned. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock, and if you guys haven't been paying attention to the NFL season as of late, I'm going to be kind of giving you a quick update on how the current standings are for each conference and who, if the season ended right now, who would be making the playoffs. So if I look, let's talk about the AFC first. So the number 1 seed would be the Chiefs, number 2 would be the Bills, number 3 would be the Steelers, number 4 would be the Texans, number 5 would be the Ravens, number 6 would be the Chargers, and number 7 would be the Broncos. If you guys don't know, there are 7 teams that make the playoffs for each conference. So those are the 7 for the AFC. And the 7 for the NFC are the number 1 Lions, the number 2 Eagles, the number 3 Falcons, the number 4 Cardinals, the number 5 Vikings, the number 6 Commanders, and the number 7 Packers. So let me give you a quick rundown of how the seeding works. So the top 4 seeds are basically the 4 teams that are winning their division in their conference. So like the Chiefs are number 1 in the AFC because they have the best record in the AFC, and they are also winning the AFC West right now, and they are the leaders over the Chargers and the Broncos and the Raiders. Same with the Bills, Steelers, and Texans for the AFC, and then the NFC is Lions, Eagles, Falcons, Cardinals. So all of those teams are winning their division, and whatever team wins their designated division, they will automatically make the playoffs no matter what. Even if their record's trash. Like, let's say the 7 seed has a better record than the number 4 seed. Well, that could be the case because that number 4 seed won their division, and then that number 7 seed might have gotten like 2nd or 3rd in their division, but that maybe that team that is the number 4 seed maybe had like a worse division or something like that. That could be the case, but it may seem a little unfair, but I think it's pretty nice. And then the final 3 seeds are just the teams that had the best record out of all the other conference teams. So for the AFC right now, it's the Ravens, Chargers, Broncos, and those 3 teams have the best records compared to the other teams below. But right now, we're going to be talking about which team can take the number 7 seed for each conference. So let's say the top 6 are like locked in and they're going to make the playoffs. The 7 seed, there's some interesting races going on for each conference. And I'm going to put it up right now. And this is the AFC current standings when it comes to the 3 teams that are close to being the number 7 seed for the playoffs. So those are the Broncos, the Colts, and the Bengals. Okay, so now the Broncos are sitting at a record of 5-5. The Bengals are sitting at a record of 4-6, and the Colts as well are sitting at 4-6. I checked the NFL website, and these are the current percentage of making the playoffs for each team. For the Broncos, right now, they have the upper edge. They have a 51% chance of making the playoffs. If they win, that could change, and if they lose, that also could change. So, as of now, standing after Week 10's results, that is what the percentage is, 51%. For the Bengals, they're sitting at 27% chance of making the playoffs, and then for the Colts, they're sitting at a 23% chance. Like I showed earlier, that was kind of their remaining schedule, so, I mean, we could be seeing a whole nother change. The Broncos could be out of the playoffs. The Chargers, for goodness sakes, could be out of the playoffs. But if we're standing right now, I think the Broncos are going to make the playoffs. And I know as a Broncos fan that could sound biased, but I think the Broncos this is a different season for them, and I really do believe that. Watching the Broncos since they won in the Super Bowl against the Panthers in Super Bowl 50, there hasn't been much fire in the teams since. This year feels different. The defense feels different. The offense is starting to click. It's still not great. Obviously, they just had a heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs, and then got blown out by the Ravens the week before. you may think, oh, maybe they're not as good as we think. I don't know. I think they could be decent. I don't know. Like, I think the Broncos are going to make it. I think the Bengals have a slightly easier schedule when it comes to that. Let me just check out this AFC playoff race. Yeah, the Bengals, they play the Chargers, then they have a bye, then they play the Steelers. Those two games are going to be very tough. Then they play the Cowboys. The Cowboys have not been playing good this year. That could be definitely a win. Then they play the Titans and the Browns. That's 3 easy games. But then they play the Broncos, which that could be a crucial game. And then they play the Steelers. So the Bengals do not have an easy schedule. Neither do the Broncos. But honestly, this could be interesting, in my opinion. And then the Colts, I think, they're the odd man out. I feel like, yes, they have an easier schedule, technically. I mean, wow. I'm looking at that schedule now, and I'm like, they could make it. They play the Jets, then the Lions, then the Patriots. Then they have a bye. Then they play the Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jaguars. So that final 3 games is definitely going to be something to look out for the Colts. But overall, I think the Broncos are going to make it to the playoffs as that number 7 seed. Let me know what you guys think down below. And we're going to get to the NFC right after this. And now let's get on to the NFC, where things are a little more interesting. It feels like it's a little more tight between the teams. Before I go on to say the teams that I think have the best chance of getting that number 7 seed in the playoffs, the final seed, I do want to say there are a lot of teams that are very close. And if I don't mention the team that you think, don't be offended by it. This is just my opinion. But these are the 3 teams that I think have the best chance of getting that final spot in the playoffs for the NFC. And I'm going to put their schedules up now. I think the 3 teams are the Packers, the 49ers, and the Buccaneers. So let's check out the schedule. I didn't really talk about the schedule right away for the AFC. So let's talk about that now for the NFC. As the Packers are going against the Bears, then the 49ers, then the Dolphins, then the Lions, then the Seahawks, then the Saints, then the Vikings, then the Bears. That is a tough schedule for the Packers. I'm not going to lie. Very, very solid teams. Even you can't even sleep on the Dolphins, to be honest with you, because the Dolphins, with Tua back, Tyreek Hill's getting healthier, this could be a dangerous team. And the Dolphins definitely could sneak into the playoffs in the AFC, but I don't think they will. But anyways, the Packers, this could be tough for them. This is a very tough schedule for them. I mean, this is unfortunate for the Packers to have this hard of a schedule come the end of the season, but I think they could pull through. Then we got the 49ers going against the Seahawks, Packers, Bills, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Lions, and Cardinals. This is also another tough schedule. I'm not even going to lie. That might be tougher, actually, because it feels like the Dolphins might be the weakest team, quote-unquote weakest. You could debate the Bears. I think it's the Dolphins right now. But that's even a tough schedule. So honestly, the Packers might have the easiest schedule so far. But let's go to the Buccaneers next. The Buccaneers have a bye this upcoming week. Then they play the Giants, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, and Saints. So in all honesty, this could be very close. I think the Buccaneers probably have the easiest schedule out of all of them. I don't think they have the team, though. There's a lot of injuries kind of going on, so that could be an issue. But overall, I think the team that's going to make it to the playoffs are the 49ers. I think the 49ers just have too good of a team. Christian McCaffrey's back. He's healthier. And I'm just excited. I'm just ready to see how this is going to pan out. But I think the 49ers just have the best roster out of all of them, and I think they're going to be able to pull it off. Let's check out the records, though, and the playoff percentages of them making the playoffs. So the Packers right now are 6-3. They have a 73% chance of making the playoffs. This is almost more than likely that they will make it. But the 49ers, not too far behind, 5-4. with 56% chance of making the playoffs. Like, that's still a decent percentage to make the playoffs. That's higher than any AFC team that's in the close battle of making the playoffs. So that's pretty impressive. Then we have the Buccaneers, who are sitting at 4-6, and their percentage is 34%. So it's very close. I think the 49ers are going to. I think they're going to get on a roll here. They don't have a bye week, which could be bad for them, but neither do the Packers. So I think the 49ers are going to do it. I think Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, I think all of them are going to be able to get the job done. And that defense is also pretty solid. So I think it's going to be the 49ers, but let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think it's going to be another team? Maybe I didn't mention them. But that is the end of this week's episode. I'm sorry if this might feel a little rushed, a little less information, just because this has been kind of the busier time for schoolwork, especially since I have finals coming up soon. Thanksgiving break will be coming up soon, so that'll be nice, so I can get some episodes out. And then Christmas break will be coming up soon as well in just a couple of weeks. So thank you guys for being patient with me. I did post on Instagram. If you guys go check me out on Sports Talk with _JWock3, you could search me up on Instagram like that. And I did post on my story a couple days ago where I said, who wants to be my guest into these episodes? And to better clarify, you don't have to show your face. We could just do like a FaceTime call where it could just show like a picture or just like your name or something, just so like we can kind of see something. Or we could just have me up there and then your voice in the background just talking. We could do that. We can always work around that. But if you guys are interested in being a guest in this episode, like, message me, let me know, just like comment down below if you want. Like, I would love to get multiple guests on this episode, just because it's more interesting. It just gives me more things to talk about with you guys, and I like to be able to reach out to you guys. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Sports Talk with JWock. This was episode number 33. If you guys haven't already, go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share with others. I mean, it's just a good way to get the podcast out there, and I want to keep going with this. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I've got some Christmas type episodes brewing up here, so if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned into this channel, and you guys will be able to see that here soon. Check me out on Instagram, like I said earlier, at Sports Talk with _JWock3, and I'll get some links down below in the bio, so that you guys can click those just to get right into it. Or sorry, I can't speak right now. Or I will get into that so that you guys can start clicking onto the links just to get to the social media pages. Check me out on TikTok at Sports Talk with JWock. And then I am on Facebook. You can't look up Sports Talk with JWock just because they won't allow me to do that name. You could just search up my name, Jonah Walkenfuss, and then it should have my logo there, and you should be able to check that out. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode. I hope you all have an amazing week. God bless.